Welcome to episode 95 of the Loose Laces podcast. You see, I lied to you motherfuckers. We're giving y'all two special episodes this week. One is still up in the air, but one is happening right fucking now. We are joined by the illustrious, the one of a kind, the incomparable SockJig.
Hey, how's it going?
I had to hit the applause button. This is a long time coming. Long time coming. I feel like all our guests are.
Yeah, I mean, well, not all of them. Like, so far, we've been on a run of people we actually like.
Okay, I have a question up front.
Okay.
Do I have to talk in a Baltimore accent this whole show?
Yes, I would love to hear your...
They should be called Loose Laces. Loose should be spelled Lewse, right?
The Loose Laces podcast is the best podcast. No, I want to break the kayfabe. I just want to say thank you, Sock, for coming on. Like, rarely do I show reverence for people, but Sock has been a huge part of the show. He has been a long-time listener, a long-time supporter, and he gave us some of the best advice. Just fucking do the show, stay consistent, and you will grow. And he retweets our horrible cover art, our wild-ass topics, and he keeps it straight in the DM. Because I remember I did something, like I fucked up on a joke, and he was like, you shouldn't do that. Please stop. So nothing but love and respect for this man, because you have been, some people try to take credit for it, but you have been a big part of why we've grown. So I just want to say a personal thank you for everything.
Oh, no, you're welcome, man. And I told you this in the DMs too. It's like, I always feel like people should be platforming other people and helping other people out, right? Like, I wish I could have got that. I didn't get it. So if I can do my part in that, that's great. However, I can do all that I want, but it's up to you to provide the good service, the good thing that people want to hear. And so I have no part of that part, right? That's all you two. And so it doesn't work without that, right? So it's like I could promote something and they stop doing it 2 weeks later and it's just over. So really it's like, thank you for you two guys for continuing to do the show and, putting these wild takes out there as well too.
Thank you, man. And I just wanted to say my appreciation too, because I kind of
mystery nigga.
Well, I gotta take a back seat, man. I gotta take a back seat sometimes, like, especially because I gotta let you shine. You the dude.
Are you Are you actually on a forklift? Are you an actual forklift driver?
You know what? Just because people are nosy, yes, I am. Of course.
Please don't break kayfabe on that part.
But definitely wanted to just show my appreciation too. Like, you retweeting the episode, and this was definitely the show. Like, I came to Dave on. I was like, dog, you got to do the show. And so for him to
give yourself all the love. You were the reason, because I was sitting up there like, I'll get in the podcast again one day. This nigga's like, nah, come on, it's time.
And so you kind of helped just for him to, stay consistent with this. So I appreciate you, because I really feel like we have something here as far as like shifting the culture and just providing something other than, hey, so these shoes are dropping next week.
Yeah, I mean, you're giving me something to chase, because I listen to your show. Like, all right, this is going to be a lot of love and then a lot of hate. Because Sock wasn't certain about the last episode that he put out. And I'm up at 3:00 in the morning, just up because I'm up. And I see the YouTube upload. And I'm like, nah, this is a banger. For you to go through and explain to the normies, for lack of a better term, how hard it is to do a collab, let alone why people even do collabs, is like, this is the kind of shit that I wish I could get out. But I just be sitting up here like, you guys are stupid. If you weren't so dumb, you would understand this. When it's like, yeah, let me explain it to you. 1 + 1 is 2. Here you go.
Jesus and Miro used to call their podcast the art, right? And it really does feel like that sometimes. That halfway through, I feel like this sucks. Like, what am I doing? And sometimes I'm working on it like in increments, and like an hour here, and then a couple days later, an hour there, and then I can't exactly recall if I said the thing last time. And so I'm piecing it together, and then in that process, I'm like, oh, fuck, this sucks. I think I'm like doing shitty on this. And then it gets to the point where you're like, I think it's all right. I'll just release it, right? And so the podcast is art, I guess. That's what I'm saying, really.
Yeah, I mean, great art is a band and it's never finished. That's why when it comes to designing stuff, I just have to look at it, close the MacBook and walk away and just like, I hope people like it. But when it comes to this, the art is just like, I'm gonna throw some shit at the wall, see if it stick.
Yeah, because we definitely behind the off mic, we definitely had some admitted fuck ups. Like,
It's been a few fuck ups. So it's just like, oh man. I mean, that's why I love YouTube. Twitter, people are like more understanding. YouTube, we put up an episode making fun of the leaked Adidas Fear of God Athletic slides. And somebody was like, you know, you were wrong. You were wrong as shit about those. It's like, thank you for holding me accountable. Because we were wrong as fuck.
That's it. And like I said, I this is just a creative outlet for me, podcasting. Like, it's just my extra fun. And really that does kind of help you as a person to have some sort of outlet that is creative, right? And so you guys probably have the same thing where like if a bunch of topics build up and you know you guys have been talking about it in a group chat or whatever, and it's like, fuck it, we gotta do a record a pod this weekend. Let it out, right?
Yeah, definitely.
I mean, that's how it was because I was sitting on the couch. Like, I woke up late today and then I saw the fucking Wu-Tangs and I was just like, it's time.
Yeah, I worked last night, so worked on the forklift last night.
Man is in the Bay Area.
The
Just
phone. Nah, he you know the sus button for what you call it?
for Among Us.
Yes, for Among Us. Dun, dun, dun. Hey Rashad, yo, we got work to do. All right, man, let's go. When can we do it? We can do it now.
Hey, I was glad everybody was available because I'm like, I'm in the house by myself. I need to do something.
Chilling in the house and I'm in the house bored. Chilling in the house and I'm in the house.
Nigga, pretty much. But I mean, we already broached the topic. So if you haven't already figured out by now, we're gonna discuss. We're the three kids on the couch discussing: is Nike fucking up, bringing back everything?
Yes.
Or is Dave on a hater?
Enough of the circle jerk. Let's start throwing pitchforks.
All right, so
it's basically Undefeated 4s are rumored to come back.
Right.
There's one of them. The other one is the one that's more official is the Wu-Tang Clan Dunk High, and then rumored to be PlayStation Air Force One as well. And I saw these rumors about Off-White the 10 as well too. So
yeah,
we can talk about it one by one or all group all together, but each has like a little bit of different story too.
I like one by one, so I can tell people in detail why they're wrong for each shoe.
bro. I got a trump card just waiting for you.
Okay, I'm excited because this nigga was in the car like about to put you in your fucking place.
Yeah, like I got a Zodia like Noah Lyles just under my jersey right now. Just
like how you hit me with the
His trump card is going to be just wear what you like.
I don't like anything, but
Man, they should make 1 million pairs of every single shoe ever made.
Shout out Trini.
All right.
No, real shit. Shout out Trini, because that man, he really lives. Him and J Mobile really live their raps. So I have nothing but respect for them.
All right, let's start with the most official one, which is the Wu-Tang Dunk.
Who wants to broach this topic? Because
all right, well I'll talk about it.
Go ahead.
A very creative promo to have honeybees all over. Honeybees are pretty much harmless, so I don't know if they're not really killer bees.
So you should have just like they should have had
got
AI.
the Africanized ones.
Nah, they should have.
Yeah, they could have had the Mandingo bees.
Or they could have just put up a picture of Joe Budden getting his eye punched in.
That's a deep cut. That would have been perfect.
So if they did
Wu-Tang ain't nothing to fuck with.
All right,
They lump that nigga up.
So what's the issue with this? I personally don't see a problem with it because we just had Rockefeller Air Forces.
Mm-hmm.
They had their anniversary or just a re-release. They did the Terror Squad ones.
Disgusting.
This falls. Shut up. This falls in vein with these. Like just because they're more elusive or whatever, they might have been more limited. Like, got an issue with it?
Always.
For what?
Okay, so now we get to be irrational, and then Sock's gonna clean it all up for us.
Like I'm pretty sure there's only like 30 something pairs, maybe 36 pairs. But it was like really limited of these Wu-Tang ones.
Yeah, they were like
2000?
art promo, right?
Yeah.
I mean, I get it, and I like hyper strikes to be hyper strikes. I had my issues with the Rockefellers, and I have a huge issue with the Terror Squads. The only reason I give the Rockefellers some understanding, they were brought back with a reason, aside from like, let's just fucking release them. They were a part of a white Air Force project. They were talking about how versatile and great the Air Force One is. So for them to bring them back, and from what I understand, the quality was up there and they were pretty limited. So it still held the essence of this is a special shoe. It's not just a regular Air Force with a stamp on it, like Travis Scott, what is his name? Oh, the lightning bolt people. Fragment.
Fragment.
Yeah, the fragments with the fragment cut into the side of a GR pair of Air Forces. Even though those were super limited, it felt like an event. And for me, I'm a strong believer in people love a spectacle. So if you're going to make a special shoe, you got to make the whole aura around the shoe special. Now, we're talking about this, what, like a year out? They're coming out 2025, right?
Something like that. Well, I don't know. They teased it today, so maybe this Wu-Tang one is later this year, so I don't know.
Yeah, so it might, we're months out. Like, generously, we're months out. So they may come back and they may do something truly incredible with these. But from what I understand, what they're going to do is they're going to treat it like the TS Forces. The Terror Squads were just a big flop. And it wasn't because it's a bad shoe. It's just, it's 20 years too late. Had these dropped around the time of Lean Back and everything else, when Fat Joe was getting kids COVID by having them lick the bottom of the shoe, that shit would have been crazy. Like just watching Cribs, these come out in June. Holy shit, let's run the Nike Talk and Sneaker Play and talk about these. Now, Fat Joe's still around? Oh, he kind of skinny now.
I feel like the Terror Squad Forces were kind of like a botched rollout, partially because of Virgil's passing. Because he spoke about, Fat Joe said that there was supposed to be an off-white Terror Squad force. That was the rumor, and he was.
Oh, I wasn't aware of that.
So I do think that there was supposed to probably. I mean, I'm just spitballing.
We all are.
But I feel like there may have been a second one that they were probably going to have in the works. Because Off-White since then has kind of slowed down almost to, it's pretty much a screeching halt.
I mean, after the Terraformers and every variation of the mid Air Force One, I don't think they've had anything else aside from like a few restocks inside their stores.
Yeah, so
they got the Bread 4 that they can kind of unleash at any time, but that's what there's a line. Like, where is that line? Is kind of what I was talking about today on Twitter. That either you cross every line, there is no line, anything is up for grabs, but there's still got to be some sort of line. And in that case, it's got to be the estate of Off-White agreeing to it. And the other example I used was Fragment. If the Hiroshi guy is like, no, I don't want it, Nike's just re-releasing that without the logo on it. It's going to look like some GR, right?
Yeah, so it's going to look ridiculous.
Yeah, it's going to. There's no point of that. So things got to line up that way. I think in terms of the collaborators got to be on board. Wu-Tang is going to be aboard. They approve home pregnancy tests if you let them.
I mean, shoot, and this is coming off the heels of what Method Man and Redman doing Hot 97, saying that
the kids don't give a fuck.
Yeah, like we have.
Yeah, that's what you're kind of like. Who is this for?
White niggas.
Terror Squad, Wu-Tang. You know, obviously they're legends from their time. If they brought them back and said we're only doing size 12 plus, great. You made an awesome decision. Right? We're not making size 7 to 11. Right? It's only 11 and a half. Screw 11 and a half. Only 12, 13 and plus. Every old head's gonna be like, I'm on board with this plan.
Man, the amount of fucking shorts and Timbs outside of some dirty New York store. If they brought back the Wu-Wear store, young niggas getting stabbed. That I would support.
No, that's what they should have did. They should have did a Wu-Tang Timberland dunk.
Shut the fuck up.
That shit would have been hard. That shit would have been hard.
The nastiest of niggas. This nigga would have been at work like, y'all fellas see these? Only size 13. Did a whaley on this shit? Nah. But I'm glad you said that. I'm glad you said that because that was the other thing I've been joking at on Twitter. We have Wu-Tang and Terror Squad have lost their edge because I didn't want to really tweet it because after that Boston joint and the white people started getting mad at me, I wanted to be careful with what I tweeted. There are so many brands that used to be dangerous, like NWA, Wu-Tang, that have now become safe for white people who are like, yeah, you know, I listen to rap, Eminem and Wu-Tang. Wu-Tang ain't nothing to fuck with.
Remember
that's who this is for.
Snoop Dogg was on trial and now he's like with Martha Stewart and stuff, right? Like things are supposed to change. I get it, but yeah, I get what you mean. Like things were dangerous, and nothing's really
It's not
that
dangerous anymore. But they've co-opted it. Well, not even they co-opted it. Snoop saw the money was with them white people, and I mean that sounds crazy to say out loud, but it's just like these are the people that can come to my concerts. These are the people that buy my later career albums. Let's make this for them.
Death Row and Wu-Tang shirts are sold in Hot Topic.
And that shit blows me. Like whenever I talk to like a white person, we start talking about the 80s, which I wasn't around for. And then they'd be like, yeah, what's your favorite rapper? I don't know, Charles Hamilton. What? Fucking RZA. RZA was spitting. You can relate to those lyrics? He's a great guy. RZA, Jizza, Sun God. Nigga, you listen to the Outer Limits? That's crazy. But because like Cousteau posted that, like, can anyone name a Wu-Tang song? I'm like, nigga, you asking the wrong things.
Yeah, Gravel Pit.
Exactly. Them white people. I listened to the Martin Scorsese album, or not Martin Scorsese, the
Martin
Farmer
Shkreli.
Bro.
Yeah, Martin Shkreli.
Shkreli. When he released it, I was there day one. Like in 99, if you got some Killer B joints, you were affiliated with Wu-Tang and you were stabbing niggas in the tunnel. In 2025, you're gonna see a white guy with like an RBG shirt with a Wu-Tang tattoo in line screaming at you, "Hey, Blackie, get in the back of the line." So you're gonna get cut off.
Stay quiet on that one.
I don't know. I just
But like those guys are old. Like you're not supposed to be dangerous when you're 55. You're supposed to be like, give me my Skechers and give me a bag of money, right?
Oh yeah, no, they getting that bag. I'm not mad at them for it. It's just, why not make a new one?
why didn't they make a new one?
Yeah, you can
That's-
make a new one.
Because
That's the thing about all these. Just to be like precise, like my only issue is with collab retros that are exact 101, like 2.0 and twists. Even like stuff like the Linen Air Force One, that was just that wasn't a collab. That was just Nike have it in their vault and they re-released it, right?
Yeah, I support that. one.
Like some of the things that we're gonna say still apply to that, like if you want, but I get it. Like you had it, you can re-release it, go ahead. But like a collab is like a cross-pollination, right? And it's supposed to be what I said on my podcast is that it's a marker in time. 1999 Wu-Tang, great time to have that shoe out. It's too bad you only made 36 pairs or whatever it was. And there were grails because of that. Like there's no such thing as a GR grail, right? That was a GR at one time. These things are only hyped because they were down to 72 of the undefeated fours, which I'm sure we'll talk about too, or 36 of these, or the Iron Maiden Dunk SBs and the Deftones that people talk about. They're only grails because there's 36, and that's on purpose. So
I mean, we can even bring it into rap terms. A lot of people died before they became lame. So it was only a limited amount of albums, a limited amount of songs that you could get before this person could have fucked up their legacy. Let's not front like some people had they died young. Like, you're great. You got old. You got your sketches on. You still making music? Ugh, stop.
They're like Andre 3000. You said like I got nothing to rap about, so
that's why I respect him. And that Flute album was hard.
All right. So, anyways, the next next shoe we're gonna speak about is I'm gonna say the Undefeated 4. Since you just brought it up.
Yeah, well, this is the one where I tweeted, and my tweet, like people started replying to me. The people that don't follow me got angry at me that I'm gatekeeping, right? And it's like
Twitter.
You should.
I'm not really mad. Don't print in the papers that I was mad. But what I was saying was that we're basically just in later sneaker times now, right? And that's kind of what we're talking about, and what I meant about that marker in time now, and that Nike has looked at it and said, the stuff that never properly had a release, we're going to bring out. I think that's the common pattern among all these. The 36 pairs of the Wu-Tang and 72 of the Undefeated 4s, right? They didn't have a proper release. So if they brand this whole release as like a name, like, cult classics, these are the unreleased or releasing collection, then that's what they're probably doing. But all I'm saying is like that line has been blurred, has been removed. And so those ones are now back. And I know like Undefeated, what's his name?
James Bond.
Unlimited Unloved Ones was talking about this kind of stuff. He hints at this kind of stuff all the time as well too on Twitter. And so it's like if the vault is open, it's like now you're basically saying that we can bring all this stuff back. Where's the line? And then also like why what's the point of doing all this? Right? It's like
I think we just saw the point of why they're doing this.
for the
Fucking
white
stock
suburban
numbers,
fans.
man. Stock numbers are down. I mean, not to say that this is gonna put the meanest dent to bring them back up in the market, because everyone knows like Jordans and whatnot is it's a small percentage, but I don't know. I feel like they're just trying to do anything to build equity back
Yeah,
with us.
like this, like I don't like if they bring back these undefeated fours. Stock numbers is the other thing. Like I know everything we're going to talk to is going to blur together, but if they bring these back and there's only 1,000 pairs, well, it doesn't really matter. Then no, everyone who's like finally I can get my hands
You're
on
not
these. It
touching.
doesn't. Yeah, these linen Air Force Ones that came back again, they were supposed to be mad limited, but like they're under
Hoard 'em out.
retail, right? So like, what the floor is what 10,000 pairs, 20,000 pairs, right? So I don't know what the numbers are of those, but how available stuff is just going to be a repeat of the other stuff. But like, no one's really making any new grails, right? No one's really thinking about that kind of stuff when you're always in like this big GR, big numbers era.
Yeah.
And so that's kind of what I meant by these later sneaker times, is that if you're going back and on uncorking all these shoes, you can only really do that once. And then what's next, right? Like what's the grail of 2040, 2050? That you might as well, like once that's done, you have to start creating new stories and create future grails if that's the thing that they're actually trying to do. And so it's like, if you got to do that later anyways, why not just do it now? That's kind of
Because
what
fuck you, that's why.
No, I honestly think I don't think they can. I think it's what I don't think. I think Nike is jammed up right now.
No, I think it is still. You can make grails. I think the issue now is you can't see a grail in the day that it's made, because I was doing my research. Hear me out. Hear me out. You don't know you're in the golden era until the golden era has ended. Just like you don't know a shoe is truly a grail until you've had time to look at it from afar. Because I think of shoes that came out in a moment that I thought were incredible, and then 5 months later, 5 years later, oh yeah, that came out. I cried. What the fuck was I thinking? But then I think of stuff from when we were younger, because I was doing my research to do professional hating to see how people were talking about undefeated fours back in the day. And people hated them. I saw niggas on Nike talk. If I got a chance to make a one of one color of Jordan brand, I tell them no. I would never disrespect Air Jordan line. And what is a rare air? We need quality. Damn, this was 2005. This could have been 2024 for all that. You've had so many bad faith discussions, grandstanding, and so much stupid shit that happened in the moment that you can come back and, people like to lie. Oh, I loved this back in the day. I looked your name up on Nike Talk. You hated this shoe. I think Nike's getting caught up in the weeds because they're trying to play catch up to other brands who are being innovative and cool per se and dropping new stories. Like if I was going to compare it to something, what they did with the clots and the DQMs was disgusting to me. Like to completely remove DQM from the bacons. It's like, I'm glad I can get bacons, but now it's not really bacons. It's just, I can't believe it's not bacon.
Just the unbacon or just the bake?
I would just say I can't believe it's not bacon. Like you got bacon bits.
And that's one where the collaborator doesn't exactly exist. The guy exists. He's an artist painter somewhere, but Dave's quality meats doesn't exist. So it's a little bit easier to erase that, right? And in that shoe, the colorway was the star.
Right.
It wasn't like the little heel, a lightning logo on the thing, right? But you know what I mean? Like the front
People
and
love the
center,
color
like,
more
you
than
can
the
bring
creator.
that back because of the colorway was the draw for that shoe.
Like you can make the Stussy dunk just without the tongue tag.
Right.
Ugh.
That exists.
I mean, you're right, because if they brought back like the OG Stussy dunks with the ostrich and the snake skin, like it's a collab in everything but the name. Because it's just like you don't know that's Stussy unless someone asked.
That's kind of what I was kind of hinting at this morning too. It's like, is SB on this block, right? Because Nike SB has not done one-of-one retros of a collab shoe. Maybe some GRs. They've done 2.0s and twists, which are all fine. But like, if we start seeing like Tiffany Dunk SB, For the Love of Money, that's another one that didn't properly release.
No, I think we know the one.
Which one?
MF Dooms.
Oh, no, Paris Dunk SB would be the one that would.
No,
No,
kill myself.
No, we got the Futura dunks. I think that only got its reverence because it was so close. I think it's close to.
Are you talking about the new Futuras?
Yeah.
Oh no, those just suck. Those are a lot of liars.
There's no real collaborator, I guess, on the Paris one, unless it was some French artist guy.
Also,
some French native.
Just to double back to your point, there was a grail as soon as you see it. Like, if we're going to talk about that.
Okay, which one was that?
Red Octobers. Anyways.
Ew.
I didn't say it were my grail.
No, those are liars. Yeezy 2s suck. I will always stand on that. I hated that shoe from the day I saw it. And then I saw it in person. I was like, damn, I was right.
But I mean, I don't think SB is going to come out and be like, yeah, we're going to retro. I don't.
No, that's what I mean. It's crossing. It's like crossing the Rubicon, the ancient Roman reference. Like once you do that, you've done it, and you can't.
It's a book reading,
right?
Motherfucker.
And it's like this. The army came back, and once they crossed the river, they are now enemy combatants, even though it's like the Roman army. Okay, whatever. But
Rubicon.
No, I got what you meant.
Isn't that the bad guy from Transformers? Oh, that's Omnicron. My bad.
And so it's like, I'm pretty sure Nike SB is safe, but I have no confidence to say that. I don't have any insight to say that. I know a lot of grails are SB grails because of like they were always like low in stock and hard to get, right? So I don't like if there are any future grails, it has to be shoes that are less than 1,000 stock. Yeah. How many people are really doing that? Like Joe Freshgoods did that? Like it's not that era anymore to make it ultra limited anymore.
I mean, but that's what I'm gonna let you make your point before I go off on a tangent.
I'm just failing to see what the fuck is the problem. I'm sorry. Undefeated Forest came out when?
2005.
Okay.
July 2005.
I was going to say 2004. How many of them shits will actually be wearable now? Forever. If you're not wearing them regularly or you're not keeping them in pristine condition in some controlled
no, that shit's going to blow up regardless of the fact.
The people who had them weren't exactly wearing them. Like who wears them? Like one or two, maybe someone at Riff LA, right?
So now we're going to put them out in more quantities because what does it do to the legacy if this shoe is just sitting in somebody's storage unit? Like, oh yeah, once upon a time ago, these came out. They were only for the employees.
Are you familiar with Steve McQueen?
Yes.
Do you know the movie Bullet?
Yes.
And do you know why that car was so special?
Why, Davon?
Because there wasn't many. Okay. It doesn't matter that you can't drive them, you can't use them. When you see the Bullet car, you know it's the Bullet car. Just like this Gazelle 607. This is a West German edition with the original acetate and the silver hardware. This is special. They don't make these anymore. They can't make these anymore. Now, in a few years, these are probably going to start dry rotting. Like these are almost 50 years old. They are going to continue to fall apart. But because you can't get them, they're unwearable, they're unusable. That's what makes them special. Like to go back to what you were saying about we need to get back to the time of shoes being only 1,000. It's a reason why it exists. Because I want to actually get into psychology. People choose to ignore that something is special because it's unattainable. Nobody likes something that everyone can get until it's something that they wish they could get. And then they start using false qualifiers. Well, the only people who care about these are resellers. As a nigga who doesn't own Flums and never will own Flums, I don't ever want to see Flums get retro exactly as is. I didn't even particularly care for the who's that bike riding nigga who was juicing? Lance Armstrong. The Lance Armstrong editions of the Flums. I didn't understand that. But
right, those are horrible. Those look like these Wu-Tang shoes as well too.
Yeah, everything black and yellow is coming back. Shout out to Sock. He saw it. You saw it coming. That's why Sock has inside info. That's why he has the socks.
Shop.sockjig.com.
Buy his socks. Continue to buy his socks. I'm not a Steelers fan, but buy his socks.
I gotta get a few pairs.
But it really comes down to things used to matter because the culture was smaller. And I think that's where a lot of people take things out. They talk about, well, sneakers are a small commodity now. Sneakers are a profit center now. Back in the day when niggas was on Nike Talk, ISS, Sneaker Play, if he was really nasty, we were a very small few. Because I remember being in high school and people didn't know the difference between a Dunk and an Air Force. They damn sure didn't know what the fuck an Undefeated Dunk was.
They were definitely in school in Baltimore County. shitty ass education system.
Fuck you, nigga.
Right.
But it was a lot of people who didn't understand what a limited edition shoe was. So when shoes were limited edition, it wasn't out of necessity. It's just like, it's a small market. So here you go. And even when you had that, because I didn't know Undefeated dunks were limited to 1,000. I just knew that I wasn't in LA and I couldn't get them. And then I ended up with 3 pairs for slightly increasing prices over the years. And then sneakerhead became a cool term. And then everybody wanted to be different with their shoes. So now we're facing a larger market, a larger culture with people who don't understand the reverence and loser niggas who were like, I missed out. 20 years later, I'm gonna get my consolation prize. I'm gonna get a lesser version. Because for
kind of what we're talking about with the Wu-Tang and the 20 years later crew, it's like, this is just catering to old heads, right?
Yeah.
And that's all retros and stuff are. I get it, right? And so that's why I was like, I don't really like what Chad was saying. I don't really have a problem that they're coming back. Like, bring them back. Go ahead, right? They are the ultimate gatekeeper on that. Brands are not like Nike Talk people or anything like that. That's just the internet version of gatekeeping. They're the ones who decide what's coming back and what's not coming back.
right.
Fragment 1, Jordan 1's not coming back because for whatever reason, it could be the estate, it could be whatever. These ones, the Undefeated owner, like I was talking about, the Undefeated owner, one of the owners on Instagram just posts expensive ass watches. He's probably like, awesome, I get to buy a new Patek out of this, right? And so I don't have a problem with this, but all I was saying is that this shows that the gatekeepers are, have opened the gate a little bit.
They spread it wide open like a goat scene.
The gate is still got to be there somewhere. It's just not clear where it is anymore. Is it just gone? And like, we'll see the 4 Love of Money and Paris SBs come back? Or is the gate at Nike SB or somewhere else now?
The gate is in hell.
No, I personally, I don't give a shit. Because the thing is, right, I'm 2 points.
Okay,
2 points.
I was waiting to see what you picked up.
Yeah, so 2 points. You know what happens? Like, one of my favorite SB dunks is the Bison dunk, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I either can't afford a Bison dunk or I can't get one in decent shape in my size. So you know what
a brown shoe, like,
huh?
you really care that much about some brown ass shoe? That's it?
Oh, Bisons are. Oh, hold up.
So shout out ADHD. It ends up being this. This is unfinished, but it ends up me experimenting on trying to make my own iteration of a Bison dunk. Right? So it's
You've been hiding those from me.
Son, I've had those since the other crib.
You never shown them to me.
I never finished.
Okay.
For audio listeners, he put up a Terminator. Was that?
No,
Force.
it's a muslin high Air Force One. So it's like cream suede, and it's just easier to dye. You can use suede dye, but it's like, dog, just put the shoe out. If the shoe is really like that, like these limited numbers is what gives the illusion that this shoe was this. It's a time capsule, it represents this. If the shoe is really like that, then put it out. The colorway or what it stands for should still stand the test of time. It doesn't need the numbers to justify if it's a hot shoe or not. It doesn't. There are plenty of GRs that are out there. People are like, holy shit, like this is one of the best shoes. Numbers, it doesn't matter. The shoe is just hot.
Oh yeah, no, we're not. I'm not arguing that, but I always argue context matters.
True.
Bisons made sense when Bisons came out. But even then, I don't feel like Bisons were that revered back in the day.
Not really.
Not really. It just became a matter of, that was a hot ass shoe, let me buy it. And then it became scarcity, drove its price up. I've never seen, outside of my sick ass, anyone like, yo, Bisons and Barfs are some of the best SBs. People used to tell me, get the fuck out their face when I'm like, yo, Barfs are hard. Give a fuck about a Barf SB? Now that a Barf is $1,000, it's just like, damn.
Yo, Barfs, if you don't have Barfs in your collection.
But nobody cares about Barfs. It's just a matter of people who still had them saw the market like, oh, I mean, I sold a pair of fucking Red Lobsters for $8,000. There's no world there's no fucking universe that Red Lobster should be going for $8,000. That shoe is trash. But scarcity and it being a size 13, I'm just saying it needs the context. A lot of these shoes are coming back and not doing well. Stock numbers are a part of it, but also, as Sock said jokingly, if the TS Forces only came back in a size 13, like 12 through 14, flying.
You're
Them shits would have
satisfying the
been.
old heads. You're satisfying Shad and I who like that stuff. Like I love Public Enemy, right? Like that is a marker in time of 1989 of when I was like, you know, a young kid, like 12 or whatever, and that's what I was listening to.
You old. I was just born.
But that's what I mean. There's like a line where I can tell where people a little bit who were born like 5 years after me have nothing for Public Enemy because in like when they were 12 in 1994 or whatever, they weren't as popular as they were in 1999, right? And so it's like we're hitting exactly that market now, and it's like that's all I'm trying to say is like why not worry about like new stories, new grails, 2.0 twists and stuff if you really want to do this kind of stuff. But
no, I agree. Like I don't like how they flip flop the daylight high and low, but I appreciate them not making 1-to-1 replicas of the daylights. And I don't know if the mic picked it up. Shad was saying, tell the people who bought that. You also have to think, are you talking about the Supreme Collection and the Stussy Public Enemies?
Well, no, I'm talking about the Supreme Collection because I feel like that's the most revered. Well, if you're talking about Public Enemy.
Now, hold on. Now, why did that collection
Black
sell?
Planet one was not. That one was like under retail.
Yeah, that I spent a lot of money on that Parker. And
that Parker was going for bread.
No, it didn't. I remember I left work early to go for that drop. I got it, and I text Lene. I was like, please don't be mad. I just spent a lot of money on a jacket that's going to flip. That shit bricked.
But that's what I'm saying. It's like it's people who my age who love Public Enemy, right? Like I'm born in 77. So when I was a kid in 1989, 12 years old, I love Public Enemy. Yeah, but when someone else was born in 1990, like if you were born then, you weren't. You were not looking for a parka from some back then because Wu-Tang was not popping in 2002 as they were in 1989.
But I also need and just to go back to your point, you just brought up context because Preem could have put Fart in a Bag back in like 07 and niggas would be like, you know what? This is a pretty good smell. Preem could have made anything. They made a fucking Come and Piss Jesus shirt that sold out. At the time, Preem was the big dog. And Preem was a bunch of weird older niggas that were like, yo, I like Public Enemy. Do you like Public Enemy? All right, let's put some pretty cool collections together. Or I think about the Stussy Bad Brains collection. I've never fucking heard a Bad Brains song in my fucking life.
Correct guy. I love Bad Brains.
See? But you're a music guy. So you know Bad Brains.
They're a DC Baltimore brand, aren't they? I think they're from around that part.
Yeah, they're from DC, right? Mm-hmm. Yeah. I mean, their stuff is cool, but I've never listened to their songs because I wasn't properly introduced to it. But they made some hot shoes. And at the time, that was one of the hardest shoes out. It's like, I don't give a fuck about J Balvin. I'll never listen to a J Balvin song, but I like your shoes.
Right.
Give me the shoes. Keep the music. Give me the shoes. It is all about context because in 15 years, when maybe J Balvin and Bad Bunny don't matter anymore, nobody's going to be like, yo, I can't wait for them to retro the Balvin 3s. Who?
Like, well, what are the future grails? Like I talked about Joe Freshcuts 992 could be a potential future grail. And like he was on my show. He said there's only 800 pairs of those. So it's like you have no one's really done like numbers in this kind of era, at least, where it's like ultra limited. These Off-White Chicago Jordan ones, someone told me the number at one time, but it's pretty low. It's like 6,000, 7,000, something like
it's
that. Right?
Super low.
Those original Turtle Doves were kind of, I think, in the same range. But like those don't matter anymore either because they restocked as well too.
I mean, because the 350 was iconic. The 750 is iconic to me because we got 5 colorways, and then they were like, zipper doesn't work. See you later.
Yeah, they probably didn't bring it back because it was too expensive to make, and so it's like,
now it's special because I didn't see it that often. Once you see it too much, because like Travis Scott is kind of killing his legacy. Like I'm wearing the ones right now. The one highs are incredible, but then it's just like the lows. The lows went from a banger to like, okay, it's Tuesday. Here's another color. Here's another color. Here's another color. You've decimated the value of the shoe.
It's like Dana White. Anytime I see Dana White wearing them, I'm like, I got to stop wearing that shoe.
And then that's also what it gets into because I subscribe to the Church of Nigo. Once the ugly people start wearing it, why are you wearing that? I don't want to be a part of that.
Well, why is this new shoe ugly then?
Say it again.
Why is Nigo's new Air Force 3 or whatever?
Sir, that new colorway was bad, but the Escape Lows, Nico, please, Nico, help me.
Wait, sidebar. If
Mm-hmm.
the rumors are true, and Pharrell and Chad are beefing, and they are, I guess, trying to split up NERD in court, who has ownership of it, right? Is it possible that we see an NERD Dunk Retro?
Please, God, don't do them the same way. If they do a low, Chad, what you want for those?
Son.
Nigga, it's been a few nights. I've almost pulled out my credit card and not telling they like, I accidentally bought a pair of Pharrell dunks in my size. Okay, I'll sign the papers.
Those are that's my main point on this was those are a marker in time. Let it be a marker in time, just like those glasses you're talking about, right? Like, but I like all this. The other side, I totally get it. Like, I can totally understand. Maybe Davon doesn't, but I totally see. If you're the other side of this argument and you're like, well, I always wanted a pair.
Be better.
What's the bad mistake, right? And I completely agree. If you are on that side, I just think on the other side, worry about new stuff. And if you want to do that, make it a 2.0 or a twist or whatever.
Yeah. I mean, I just want to see new stories. Like, I want to make this clear. For anyone who listens and thinks I'm just being a dickhead, wear what you like. If you get these, they make 200 million Wu-Tang dunks and you buy 5 pairs, I'm glad that you got the shoe that you wanted. I will never be upset that someone got a shoe that they wanted unless it was at the cost of me. I'm lying. I'm a hater, but I do like seeing people happy.
I don't believe you when you say buy what you like.
No, I'm a strong believer because it's like Shard likes these ugly ass Under Armour shoes, but they make sense for him. He does track. I don't expect him to be out there in Air Max 1s breaking his toes off.
Nah, I wear Hirachis, but those shits are like terrible to run in, but they're like the ultimate training shoe.
Yeah, but I mean, you should wear what you like because I'm having people come at me. Why do you hate people's joy? Nigga, if you like that shoe, I do not control your closet or your wallet. I am the asshole over here in 40-year-old glasses and shoes that aren't that great but rare, scoffing at you. I'm the asshole that you should be ignoring. So ultimately it doesn't matter. Like we've all been saying, it's just a bunch of old hits in the field. I remember back in the day when Nike used to do an artist stories, like the Air Dirties. You kids don't. This nigga, you actually match the Air Dirties right now. Yeah. Like most of the people, if I said Air Dirties, most people have no idea what the fuck I'm talking about. These are deep cuts that are a great indicator of the time. Nelly had a Nike shoe and it wasn't an Air Force One. Sit around, children. Let me tell you about the wild times at Nike. Like Eminem having a fucking spy drone. Oh no, that was at Hayes.
No, I think he had a spirit on. I think that is correct.
Yeah, like Eminem had so many fucking collabs that people didn't know about.
Yeah, Air Max Burst.
Okay, so that's what I was going to ask. Like, how many Jordan Grails are there really that could release that didn't get a proper release? There's probably the Tokyo 5, which I don't think ever
Jeter
got
11s.
No, wait,
Jeter 11s.
And like, we had something that was close to that.
Yeah, that was a what the.
Yeah, it was one side. The medial side was yellow or whatever.
Yeah,
and it's like there's like the Ray Allen 13s. Like what else? What else could Jordan Brand actually bring back that was a Grail? Like I don't give a shit about Eminem 2s or 3s.
No, we got to reword stuff didn't get the proper release. This shit that came out last week that didn't get the proper release, but that's a whole nother story.
Well, a larger scale release.
Even like those Justin Timberlake Legends of Summer or whatever. No. I don't give a fuck about those. All right. Like it's literally like it's Tokyo 5, Ray Allen 13 are probably like the top 2. And then it's like, if you want to bring them back, go ahead. If you want, right? Like no one really did get proper access to those.
Yeah. I mean, but that's also what I think makes certain things special. There are layers to the game. You know, there's rare because it was regional, and then there's like rare because it was a friends and family. Like when I got Head Automatica Air Forces, I damn near cried. That was my Super Bowl. Like to get a friends and family joint, like this means something to me.
Yeah, we're kind of grouping the name Grails into a big category as like $5,000 shoe, but the real definition of a grail is like something that is not even on StockX anymore, right? Like you
Yeah.
can't even find the size of it at all. And so, but if we just expand that to a $5,000 shoe and kind of shoe that's hard to get, hard to find. But if there's a size of it on GOAT or StockX right now,
I mean, it's attainable. It's just not affordable. So
Yeah.
it's not. Yeah, I mean, it's just words have been diluted. I mean, literally no longer means literally because fucking idiots keep using it the wrong way. It's just such a weird thing that we're at a point now where people are demanding accessibility for everything. And it's just like, nigga, you want a participation trophy? No, you should have been in Tokyo reading this one catalog to order that shoe. Like, I don't know. I'm in love with the game because the hunt. I really like when shit is hard because I know I'm stamping it now. When I get my collaboration, all you're gonna see is Gente. I'm going to 1010 Morton Street. I'm opening Gente up, and I'm gonna put in the marketing. If you don't get this, you didn't deserve it. That's the kind of shit I'm on. But I'm also a psychopath.
Is that a Baltimore store? I don't know what Gente.
Yeah. I'm sorry. I'm getting the deep.
No, it was a former Baltimore store. Shoot, we camped out for Yeezys.
Yeah. So Gente is Japanese for limited. So the name of the shop was Shop Gente. And I'm just like, I want to bring that back because Baltimore doesn't get shit. But also it just plays into the thing. If I make something, I want less than 500. And I want people to be upset. Like I want people to be outside the store crying because it's like, I didn't get my shoe. You should have been better. Like I don't ever I don't know. I just like you said, there are no Grail GRs. GRs are there for a reason, and limited edition is made specifically to titillate, to get you to spend money. Once you stop making it, like, don't call it a limited edition if you're going to make an open edition.
I mean,
like there are like under like these trophy rooms or 1,000 pairs or whatever. So they do this limited thing, but like the story has to kind of like have a life of its own afterwards. So like you said, you only later can you tell that it was a grail.
Yeah.
But trophy room, no one's gonna like has that kind of reverence for trophy room, right? So it's like that's not gonna be a grail. Whereas the Union Jordan ones, those were not exactly limited. Like I think I heard the stock numbers of those, but they could have been like 15, 20,000, but everyone wore them. Even the Sean Witherspoon, if they were limited, like those are kind of everywhere, but that was a shoe that people wore and you see it on the street all the time, right? And so it's like that means there's fewer dead stock pairs, but then maybe it is like a grail status for someone who's nostalgic 20 years from now because they were 14 when that shoe came out in 2007 or 2017 or whatever it was, right? So it's like that's the thing. It's like it's hitting the right time and the right thing. It's like there's so many brands and stuff and collabs from the past, like a Nom de Guerre 180. Do you know what Nom de Guerre is? Do you remember that shoe? I just said that out loud. I'm just thinking if you can picture that shoe right now.
I want to be a dickhead and say, yeah, I can't. I don't remember it. I remember Nom de Guerre because I couldn't pronounce it, but
yeah, it was like just a brand of that time, and it kind of went under, and they had a 180. That's it. And it's like, does anyone have any reverence for that right now? Because like if you couldn't visualize it, if you couldn't, it's just like it's like almost like a Stussy or almost like a Linen Air Force One on a 180. It's like pink and beige-ish, right? And so no one has any reverence for Nom de Guerre because it didn't last the test of time, right? Obviously, stuff like Undefeated 4s does, and probably a bit more than these Wu-Tang Dunk Highs. And that's the time right now is not exactly time where people are easily wearing Dunk Highs either.
Yeah. But also, like you were starting to say something that I wanted to pick up on because you were saying a story, and now like we're talking about it. I think some of the most revered shoes, aside from the colorway, you remember the story behind it. Because I'll give you a perfect example. New York Pigeon Dunks are not fucking good. They have never been good. But the only reason they blew up, because they blew up before Paris Dunks did, they blew up before Tokyo's, they blew up before London's, it was because of the riot. Had they not had a riot, they would have sat quietly along with the other city dunk exhibits. Undefeated 4s came out. They had reverence. I mean, they had notoriety because they were the first Jordan collab. but most people remember the auction. Because I remember going on there, that black website, looking at the countdown, and I'm looking at a size 9.5, and it's like 10,000, like it's like $3,000, and 14-year-old Dave on it's just like, we got money, but my mother not gonna let me spend money like that. I mean, undefeated dunks, those don't have the same reverence, but they have a huge reverence to me because of a personal story. But the colorway and them being a part of the pack was so big versus a shoe that was actually ripped. I'm sorry.
Are you talking about the one that came back as the Jordan 1 had that undefeated dunk colorway? Is that
the colorful pack, the no line that destroyed socks.
Biohazard.
The biohacks.
Yeah.
Yeah. But versus a truly rare shoe like the One World pack. No one cares about the One World pack aside from the Clot Air Force Ones. I'm the only asshole who screams about how great they, in the Questloves.
Yes.
Those are the only two famous shoes out of that pack. Everything else is just like, hey, I got the I forgot the name of the pair that I have. It's the all wool pair. It'll come to me. The Maharams. I'm probably mispronouncing that. No one knows what the fuck those are. But I'm just like, these were the first all wool Air Force One. And then, bro, I do not give a fuck. But you mentioned fucking pigeon dunks. Yeah, I heard a guy got stabbed at that. Nobody cares about the shoe. And now it's just a shoe that's expensive.
I don't think Nike should be doing anything with Jeff Staple after he was trying to recreate that shoe with Warren Lotus as well too. But that's between their relationship.
Jeff Staple need his ass beat. I stand on it. I said it to his face. Jeff Staple need his ass beat. You've been riding the coattails of a riot that you didn't even cause because someone cut the line.
All right. So what?
And what was that? There was 300 of those, wasn't it? Was it? I can't remember the exact number.
I thought it was like 100.
Yeah, it was crazy limited, I guess.
Stupidly limited. A friend of mine was there and he was like, some dickhead cut the line and they started pushing. And then like someone got punched and they called it a riot. Like the riot, even a riot, it was just some white guy punching another white guy.
That's a regular trip to Mondawmin.
Exactly. Like Nike, Adidas, let me do some shit for Baltimore. When a nigga gets stabbed, I'm putting that shit in the front of the sun.
They're probably like, you guys got your Air Force One 20th anniversary. Thank you for saving the Air Force One and making us billions. Here's a shoe.
It didn't even have a swoosh on
That's enough for you guys.
It didn't even have a swoosh.
All right. So what were the other two shoes that were mentioned?
What were the other two shoes that we mentioned?
Oh, the Off-White, the 10 class. I don't think that's happening. That was like a rumor, and it was like potentially in 2027 these could come back. And it was like the Fit Dad guy on Twitter was saying, and his original tweet was basically like, "Don't be surprised if." And I was like, that's not exactly confirming anything. It's just someone speculating.
Yeah, I mean, well, I've talked to people like with Fit Dad and a few other people, and they were saying like it's not the 10. It's just going to be a continuation of, Off-White starting again with Nike. So it's just a game of telephone because I've been seeing him saying like people are talking about telephone. Wait till you get the actual fact. But it's like, I feel like a lot of people are just out here trying to start. I mean, the clickbait, they've evolved between sneaker A and sneaker B to, I heard Virgil's Ghost is coming back to Nike. Rumors confirmed.
Like I said, like they have that Bread 4 Off-White one, a sample of it. If they wanted to, they could re-release that, and people would be happy. And I, like you said, like Shab was saying, like, what's the problem with that? I guess there is no problem with that because that one didn't really release, and so that's probably how Nike and Jordan Brand are thinking about all these 1 of 36, 1 of 300 type of shoes because they didn't properly release. And like I said, I wouldn't be shocked if you can clip this part. I wouldn't be shocked if they branded just like how they did these cult classic stuff. Mm-hmm. The return of the one ofs.
Yuck. I mean, you're probably right because I can definitely see that happening. We opened the vote, the Nike vote for the Hyper Strike, the night of the Hyper Strike.
Do stories even matter to Nike anymore? I mean, I just saw your tweet where you said they got rid of like the Nike archive and whatnot.
Yeah, I was saying.
Thanks for keeping them clean. Bye.
I was saying it's some real Bond villain shit where they laid off half the team supposedly, and right now, right in an era where they're bringing back classics. So either there was like Bond villain where it's like, please make me this weapon of mass destruction, and then as soon as you do, you just kill the scientist that did it. And so, so it's like now we're free to do what we have because you guys got our Wu-Tang Clan ducks for us.
Thanks, RZA.
No, it's just like the whole time I'm thinking, yo, Nike got an ace in the hole if they bring back Aqua 8s, and they just said, you know what? Fuck that. We're going straight for Undefeated 4s. Like, yo,
Yuck.
You skip so many big classics that you could do, even so much as fucking up flu games and saying, yeah, we're going to put it with a red tab instead of this. Like,
I mean, they tried that and they got yelled at, but they still sold. I don't know. I just feel like Nike's in such a weird position.
They came back like 5 years ago, didn't they?
Yeah, they did. I
didn't
think
matter.
people were just more so upset.
They suck.
No, they were gonna. I thought they were talking about like retro and the suede ones, like they had the emojis on the tongue, and then they're like, "Nah, we're just gonna go ahead and scrap that. That shit dead."
Yeah, but I mean, to go
like
back to your question, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Sorry, I was gonna say for the Grail stuff, like I said, Jordan's only got like a few of them, and some of them are PEs, right? And some are like these Mike Bibby shoes and things like that they could do if they wanted to. But it's like, is anyone if they brought back the Shine Down ones because they made this guy whatever 5 pairs? It's like I'm a music guy. I don't listen to Shine Down. I don't give a shit about Shine. I don't give a shit about Eminem either.
No, they've tried because we got black and purple 12s. We got Gary Payton PEs and no one gave a shit.
Nigga, we got every LeBron that all you size 13 motherfuckers cried about, and niggas like, why their size is under 12?
No, I think it shows us how much more intentional they are for them not to release stuff like the Carmelo 2s. Like they had those, and they went on a run of fucking irrelevant 2s, and I love 2s, but it was just like, okay, these are just colorways. The storyline, other than the Italy colorway that people were already nicknaming the Christmas colorway, that shit made 0 sense. They put out 2 pairs of white, black, and green 2s. One dedicated to Howard White, and then the other one, I don't know if I got his last name right, but
no, that's right.
But yeah, and then the other one that was just, I guess, a Celtic colorway, like because to signify Jordan going against the Celtics when he came back from a broken foot. Like the shit, even though there is a story, no one gave a fuck. Like
because they don't present the stories. Now, hold on. Is a two-way blame. Leakers, because you see the shoe when it's in its infancy. You see that shit raw ass, not even fully stitched together. And then Nike doesn't really go out of its way to do a presentation, or maybe they can't, because after that, don't stop disbelieving, fire your marketing team. That's not even a proper fucking sentence.
No, they do a lot of they don't really do in-house marketing.
They need
they used to have people outside. Like
they call it demand creation, and they spent apparently like $1 billion or whatever it was. They said in the earning calls on it.
I can't tell.
Yeah,
but I think
Nike is so ahead in terms of being cool with consumers that
they don't really have to.
Someone like New Balance or Hoka can do something cool. It doesn't really matter because it's a tiny blip, right? Friend of the show, Jerlisa, is not going to be wearing New Balance or Hokas, right? Because her life story is based on Nike and Jordan brand, right? Of what she has up to this point. That's just using her as an example, but that could be anybody. Right?
What'd you say?
I said, and newly Adidas.
Yeah. Actually, you know what? I love how you said that. I love, like, this man is a professional. Friend of the show, Jared Lisa. Like, you always step that in. I got to use that, but I got to start saying enemy of the show.
Well, sometimes on this podcast, you'll like start referencing people on like Twitter and stuff. Like we said Trini earlier. That's Air Max Trin on Twitter. That's who we were referencing. And so I always make it.
No, you do a good job because I
think of someone who's listening and be like, "Did he say tranny?"
Yo,
now I'm canceled. Thank you. This was a great run. The Loose Laces with SockJig show is coming. I'm gonna go find myself with God. Okay. But I do want to say something about the 2s. I'm still mad that those motherfuckers. Huh?
Please say 2s again.
I knew he was gonna do that.
The TWOs. So referencing the TWOs, those. They missed horribly with those. For them to make a special edition Jordan 1, like what was it, 4 or 5 colors, and it only came out in China, in Italy. but you didn't bring the fucking Italian TWOs back. I'm not giving it to you. Why the fuck did you not make them in Italy? Why did you not call Don C? This was his time to shine. And you're like, hey, Union, can you make some Black Pride twos? Yeah, we got you. I mean, no. They did something botanical. AMM, y'all got some dark colors and a sad story to tell? Yeah, nigga, we always got a sad story to tell. Here you go. And then what was it? The French fashion, not the French fashion house, the French, the Mason, whatever's
Chateaus.
Yeah. Hey, French niggas, y'all want to make some? We and no one cared.
I think for Jordan, like they can just kick the can 5 years down the line, right? And it's like the Italian-made Jordan 2s. So you want to do that now? No, kick that can 5 years ahead. And so then you come to this year and you see there's a bunch of cans you kicked 5 years ago, and it's like Black Cement 3. Yeah, let's do that. So,
it's always safe.
Not, let's kick it down 5 years again, right? So there's always this countdown to 5 years from now, and where they'll evaluate then what they want to do.
Yeah, that's their ace in the hole. That's their y'all want 85 Chicago ones? Yeah, of course.
I'm so fucking
2028. Like, nigga, I wanted to, like, what you teasing me for, dog? You could drop these now.
I'm so fucking tired of all the conversation around it. Honestly, I'm so glad that I didn't get into Jordans until later in life. Because the whole conversation around the TB3s, if you had been born in 1980 and been 9 when they came out, you would have known that they were cream, not white, you fucking simpleton. Nigga, you were born in 1992. But my dad had them.
Yeah. Like Jordan has this huge, like I said, they're so far ahead of what they could do that they just don't do. At any point, they can say, we're building the Excelsior pack. And Michael Jordan himself is going to do 1 to 23 and make a commercial for each single one. Fucking the streets will be going crazy for that, right?
Yeah,
imagine Michael Jordan holding each single shoe. Like, I just made that up off the top of my head, but like they of course know that they can do any of that kind of stuff if they wanted to.
Yeah, I mean, when you said it, I saw violence. I saw size 13 niggas going crazy in the streets. His airness is back.
We're only doing size 12 plus.
No, you know what I'm talking about. I'm talking about the size 13 niggas that have the Jumpman tattoo on their leg. That shit's gonna light up like a sleeper agent. I'll kill a kid for some Jordans. Excelsior. That'd be the commercial for me. Nah, I mean, it is so much because when you're the market leader, you don't really have to do much because Nike's been fucking up for a while. And yet and still, I'm wearing Nina Chanel shorts. I'm mad at it, but goddamn, the product is still good.
And like the other brands, the challenger brands, only get to a certain point because of like how hard it is to scale at this point, right? Like,
yeah,
New Balance can get to a certain point, but they're not going to go international and distribution and all the work that's required to go up against like a global leader. So they're fine at that 10,000 whatever range that they are, and it's like other people can like siphon off a little bits of cool, but Nike is so far ahead in terms of what they have that they know that they can then save money on. We don't need to create a commercial for this stuff and tell a proper story then, because they will sell themselves. And we're seeing the limits of that. Like if this had a better story, this would probably sell a little bit better. And that's where they can improve and change things. But I don't know, I'm not in charge of it. That's on them to do.
Yeah, I mean, I do like the movement because a friend of mine actually just got shock dropped with a pair of those Air Sabrinas. Soul Stop was Soul STS. He was like, he DM'd me. He was like, yo, Nike just sent me something. Because I always wondered, like, does Nike DM people like, yo, what's your address and size? He was like, no, they just sent it to my old house and I saw it on UPS. And they sent them to Sabrina's. And it's like, I love the outreach that they're doing for people. Like, y'all should do more. Like, I want to see more community-led things because we're the assholes complaining. Put your money where your mouth is. If that was me.
No, obviously they should do more, but instead they're in like cost-cutting mode. So it's like they're telling the market, we want to do less. We want to have fewer of these employees or whatever.
Yeah, send the asses out back. Archive team, go. Storytelling team, get the fuck out of here.
What was the last thing on the list? We got the 10, the Wu-Tangs, and
Undefeated Fours. I forgot the final, sure.
I can't recall it.
We'll figure it out, but
Oh, you wouldn't. This discussion honestly should not be happening because you would shit yourself if they're re-releasing grand pianos.
They did.
Okay,
I didn't get them.
why not?
They were hard to get, and then I was just like, ultimately, it hit me. I love my grand pianos because of the story behind them, but I don't dress like I did back when they dropped out. I don't wear nearly as much pink. So I'm just like, do I really want to go through the trouble of paying resale for them when there's another shoe that I can get? Great shoe. I don't like it hasn't diminished my love for them, but it's just like it's cool, but I don't necessarily need this shoe.
It's a marker in time, and they should have been like that. And like I said, I get it. It's not wearable. Whatever, the Boogeyman resellers only got them. It's whatever. Like I totally see the other side of it, where I just want a shoe to wear.
Yeah.
But I just think that what's the next grand piano story? Are you worried about that? Like,
Yeah, I mean, I would have loved to see.
You're gonna have. You only get one shot to do this kind of retro. You're not gonna re-release the grand piano every 10 years. Like Jordan Brand can at least do some of that because it's just his name on it. So it's like, why not worry about new grails and new kind of stories to tell? And but the other thing is, like, if you do that, you only the fast lane to make a grail is like under 1,000 pairs.
Right.
I don't think it can be done anymore.
I mean, and that's what I mean. The times are different, and you're gonna have to worry about this problem eventually. So why as well worry about it now? Instead, it seems like they're
kick the can,
kicking the can down the line a bit.
Yeah, and I mean, to what you were about to say, I mean, what you were saying, we move faster because before we'd fight for months about a shoe, whether it was good or not, and this was after the release. Now a shoe comes out, you forget about it, and then it's just like, oh, okay. And now on to the next argument. Because I was gonna say the grand piano retro was such a blip in a blip on things because it only released in Taiwan.
Right.
And that's why I was happy because I'm like, okay, it only released in this one specific area, and the store led the release because it was for one of their anniversaries. And I was like, I think that's perfect. Had they made it a global release and everyone had it, it's not as special. So for them to bring it back as is, that's cool. Because I feel like they also took the original release into account. Because I will completely change my tune if Undefeated comes back like, all right, so y'all know the drill. It's 1,000 pairs, auction, go. And the crying would commence, and I'd just be like, yes, keep that same energy. This is what we live for. Wear. Say it again.
I just wanted a pair to wear for myself.
Yeah, I just wanted a pair to wear. You have a chance. Buy them. Resellers. It's not resellers. It's Undefeated this time. Put your house up. Like, I don't know. I just like, I really love the story of releases because like the older I get, the more I think about how much fun releases used to be. Because we talk about it regularly with EQL. Entering a raffle and then waiting around a week is not nearly as fun as all right, so it's 2009. Reebok did the 20th anniversary for the pump. SNS is dropping at 3:00 in the morning. I woke up at 2:30. The site is already dead. Oh my God. Oh shit. I need a 10. Fuck. I clicked the 10 and a half. Fuck it. Click, click, click. The site's dead. All right. I got my pair. Only 30 pairs in the world. A week later, you get an email. Hey, Reebok fucked up and put their shoes on a boat. What do you mean? So you'll get your shoes in a month and a half. Okay, so we created a new website so you can track the boat in real time. That is one of the coolest fucking releases I've ever been a part of for a shoe that does not matter. That shoe will always be special to me because I watched the boat go from China to, what is it, Sweden, Switzerland? Forgot what the fuck they are. From China to Europe, and then it arrived to me on Christmas Eve, and it's just like, God bless Jesus. Thank you. I got my shoes. And now they look horrible, but I still love them.
The original mold ones.
Oh, nigga. I'm surprised they haven't molded because I wore them shits in the snow. I let them sit in the trunk for a couple of years, and it's just like, these are probably a biohazard, but I'm not letting them go. Oh, and then the cherry on top. My number is 17 of 30. Mm-hmm. They gave me the wrong card. I have 18 of 30, so it doesn't match the shoe.
Oh, so if they're trophy room ones, they'd be fake.
You ain't wrong. Versus, yeah, because you brought that up, the trophy room ones. Yeah, I entered EQL. No, not even EQL. I went inside the store and I signed a piece of paper, and then they mailed it to me. Oh, congratulations! This is a cool release.
Them shoes is ass. I ain't gonna hold you.
Yeah, I'm not a fan either.
Those shoes is garbage.
That trash, son. When niggas was arguing with me, like, what are you upset about? We finally have a transit trophy from ones. Fucking lows with like a weird stitch swoosh. If you're okay with a consolation prize,
no, they're reminiscent of the Tiana Taylor ones. Like,
I didn't like those either.
And then the thing is, you put them in the same box as the Frozen ones, and so I forgot all about the lows even coming out. So when I saw this dude saying, "Yeah, I just picked up my trophy room ones," I was like, "Oh shit!" He said for retail. I'm like, "Oh shit!" He got a pair of the Frozen ones, and then he opened it up. Oh, this shit, these man, all right.
Yeah, I mean, he stepped on any other release that he could ever do.
As long as you're happy, buy whatever you want. That's what you say, right?
Yeah, I mean, if you're happy, cool, but you look like shit in them.
This is garbage.
I gotta hate somehow, but I mean, Marcus completely destroyed his reputation. One of the most legendary releases ever. Everything else afterwards is just a fart in the wind. Hey, y'all, sheriff, the new sheriff in town, Sevens.
You know, like that was a long time ago, but you know, there's a line where you can get away with, and he was like, "There's no line for me. I can get away with whatever I want."
You know my dad is. You about to die. Right? Sorry, he's
like
over here trying to drink rubbing alcohol.
At the time, I joked, it's like, imagine if you're the Nike executive and you got to go talk to Michael Jordan himself and say, "Hey, this release was fucked up. You got to do something about your son." Right? It's going to be like the Indiana Jones where the guy's head just comes flying back down, right? It's like, that's who you're sending off. That's going to be the Nike executive.
I mean, I'm just imagining if like In Search Of blows up and Kazi does some foul shit. Mr. Ford, your son rugged everyone. And I'll let him do it again, nigga. The fuck? This nigga's fired. You see Jordan Brand? Good job, Marcus. And still buying your shoes?
You know how many plumbers my dad had to dunk on?
That nigga didn't have a left hand. He's still Revered. Nah, you said it best when you said you can treat sneaker collectors like shit and they're just going to come back because we are all in abusive relationships.
Yeah, the shit got backdoored. It's part of the culture.
Yeah, I mean, I think about Gente when like Gente's lost all his reverence after they
one released the blinks.
Yeah, when they released the blinks and they gave him to the Dream and some Nike rep, and they said they had 12, and then in the morning they said they had 8, and niggas went off. I remember that Nike Talk thread.
They're supposed to have like 20 something.
Yeah, we knew what happened with that. And then when when he came on Nike Talk, or then they found his blog where he put a pair of blinks in the toilet.
He had 3 pairs, 2 on the sink and 1 in the toilet.
Yeah.
The culture definitely turned their back on him.
I mean, but back in the day, you could really lose your Jordan license, your Nike license, and you were fucked. Now, stores openly backdoor, and it's just like, it's the only store in the city that gets cool shit that I like.
Dick's Sporting Goods lost. Yo, shut the fuck
You
up.
always bring up Dick's.
Yo. Dick's Sporting Goods had lost their Nike contract for like 3 years because I want to say they sold a pair of what was it? I want to call them the Stone Gray 4s early. I want to say it was those. They couldn't sell Jordans for like 2 or 3 years, like some stupid shit. Because they used to release on Wednesdays, either Wednesdays.
It was
or Thursdays.
sometime because niggas would skip school,
and then that's when they moved them to Saturday releases because people would leave and go to the mall. Like their parents would come pick them up, or if you had like an older sibling that would look out for you. But yeah, they released them like on a Wednesday instead of a Thursday, and people got hip. So I killed that spot.
I don't know. It's interesting to see how far we've evolved and gone backwards. Because especially seeing like younger people talk about they're backdooring. Motherfuckers, have you ever walked up to a lineup and seen a nigga pull up with his trunk to the back of the store? And it's just like, what you gonna do? That nigga will shoot you. That is the local crack dealer. Do not fuck with him.
And this generation's problem-solving technique is like, let's just make a TikTok about it. I'm going to do a confessional in my car talking to my TikTok screen about it.
I mean, I love that because it's like, well, we're talking about it. Now you're going to get ridiculed by old dudes or y'all are going to tweet at the store. Like the arguments that I've had with people about skate shops backdoor every SB. So do you know how many shoes a skate shop gets? They might get 5 of a super limited release, 20 on a good day. You really think they're gonna backdoor? Like they don't give a fuck about you. You don't skate. They've never seen you before. They're gonna take care of their customers. Well, why should I have to buy a T-shirt from a skate shop so they can stay in business? Like, do y'all not understand how resale works? You sold 20 shoes for what, an $80 profit, and now, if even $80, and now that store has to continue, and your ass is selling the shoes for 7,000. How you think that's gonna work? I mean, I'm not saying backdooring is ethical, but I mean everything's labeled as backdooring.
Understand? It's like I get it.
Yeah, I mean, as my brand grows, this motherfucker, y'all two are gonna be backdoored. Like nobody knows. Like,
wait, ain't nobody taking my back door.
Shut the fuck. Stop talking about dicks. But happy Pride Month. This is the last day we can say it. Happy Pride Month. But I lost my train of thought. Oh yeah, nobody knows this, but SockJig actually has one of the rare shirts ever made. He's the only person to get, what was it, a double XL or 3XL of the Me Internet Man shirts.
Oh yeah, no, I always wear shirts loose, and like I always put them in the dryer because I'm lazy and don't want to hang dry everything. So they always shrink, and so I was like, yeah, make me this bigger size.
He's the only person.
Of course, I'm a bigger guy, of course, as well, dude.
Yeah, but you know, people are gonna cry like I backdoored this to him. He's the only person who got that size, and I will always make special editions for friends that will never be available to the public for free. And they're just, it's like you got to pick your battles.
Hey, as Sock says, the game is the game.
The game is the game. You know, buy high, sell low. That's what the Sock should say. Buy high, sell low.
Yeah, he does have a pair. I think available in cream right now on his site.
buy low, sell high.
Yeah, no, buy high because that's what these fuckers are doing. Guys, linens, they're gonna sell very well. Buy all of them. Yeah. Shit.
I don't know. I guess what we can just all say from this is, first of all, just lack of innovation as far as Nike goes. Like until they end up making a story for the Air Max DN or some shit, it's just I don't think that we probably about to see the nastiest of the retros. Like this is literally the tip of the iceberg.
Oh, dog, we about to get fucking flooded. Like I'm just trying to think of every cool shoe from when we were a kid that's gonna get a retro. Because I don't think collaborated SBs might be safe, but we're gonna get fucking Bison highs.
I'm telling you, we're about to enter the platinum age. Fuck a golden age. This is about to be the platinum age of
I honestly think the line is somewhere. I think Nike SB is safe. That's just me though, because that has always been part of Nike SB's story. That you're undoing the whole story of that division if you just let it do that. But
they don't care. I will say this:
it's like, where is the line then? It's unclear where that line is.
I'm trying to think, what shoe would they never touch?
What, the Dunks?
Man, the way they wore out What the Dunk as a colorway. I mean, shit. Does anyone remember the Nike one time only pack that they immediately lied about?
Oh,
it was the Air Max, like the Power Wall, where they were mixing Air Maxes together, and they were like one time only.
Yeah, that's what you call it. Spizikes were only supposed to be one time. Spizikes was that was supposed to be limited. I think the original was only like 400 something pairs because I remember I had the white pair, and they hoard them out. Shit, they just had a pop up. Pretty sure some more dropped there, but I know they got the Chinese New Year. They got the low Spizike that they really trying to push now. Like
the only retro that I want to see, and I will stand on this, and I don't care who feels strongly about it.
This nigga
SpongeBob Dub Zeros. When those retro, me, Lene,
release. Those are always fake.
It's not a retro.
No, it's going to be a retro because they're going to make them official, and I'm going to cry.
All right, man.
Like that's all. I'm sure we're wrapping this up soon, but it's like I really don't have a problem with these releases, Shad. I know that your position is well too. Like all I was talking about really, and it's like everything's got to be an argument when you automatically you think the other side is completely wrong. I know, Davon, you might think like that, but I'm just like, I don't care. I'm just saying that this just shows that we're in different times right now. That was my main point. And really, I do lean that they shouldn't do this, but I can't stop them. I'm not the gatekeeper. They're the gatekeeper. They're the ones who decide. They're the ones who decide where the line is. So it just shows that the gate has been open and things are going to change. And so it's like, I hope that means exciting things, but I think there's going to be some hurt feelings too. It's like, if they bring back these Wu-Tangs in huge numbers, it's like, do they love you like that, Wu-Tang?
No.
Right?
Shit, they might bring back Dizzy
highs,
Rascals.
right? Like if it was low, like yeah, like Dizzy Rascals. There's a guy who's of his time, and it should stay of that time. That shoe.
Yeah, the Dirty Stanks and the Air Max 90 for big shit on the side. Nobody wants those. I mean, I know I like to play the villain. Ultimately, I don't care because
you made a shirt where you say I'm the internet villain.
I mean, I'm a peace-loving human being. I want everyone to be happy, but ultimately, it's just like I don't care what you wear. I don't like how the conversation goes from someone stating their opinion to it becoming a blood sport, because like just like how you said it eloquently, hey man, there's a line and it seems like Nike's crossing it. It's a discussion that we should really be having, because are things truly special, or do you think nothing is special? That's where I ultimately come with it, because I think special things should always think special. And of course, we don't own it like you said, but I think that's an interesting conversation to have. Like, we were very cordial about this. Shard is very firmly in the camp of I don't care. And that's perfectly fine. It's just, where does it stop? Where does it begin?
I mean, yeah, it's just, where do we go if the behemoth itself feels that nothing is sacred, or thinks very little is sacred? Because they, again,
no, I mean, you said it right.
Now they still might hold the SB line in reverence and say, no, we're not going to touch that due to whatever licensing or whatever.
And that's the thing. Like people are like, oh, they'll bring back Freddy Krueger SBs or whatever. No. It's like New Line Cinema was difficult to work with for that one.
Yeah.
Or did not like it. Or Heineken is the other one. It's
Heineken's gonna do it, bro.
It's got to be, everything's got to align where the collaborators on board. They're not litigious or anything like that. And it's like that might rule out some of them, but really, like I said, the list of grails, if you take out Nike SBs, that list of grails is probably cut in half, because a lot of the grails are Nike SBs.
Yeah. I mean, and you got to think about it. That's going to be tough to circle back. Like, one of the things that I think about is Lupe Fiasco. When he did Freedom Ain't Free, and he sampled They Reminisce Over You, Troy song. Pete Rock got pissed because he wasn't involved with Lupe redoing that beat, right? So he was just like, yo, y'all skipped over me, y'all didn't pay me. And I feel like Nike doesn't want those issues. I know that, like, we don't necessarily know where they stand as far as morality goes, but I'm pretty sure that original paperwork, those contracts,
they didn't have anything in it. I mean, there's a lot that they can do, but they start getting some weird, funky territory, because they can do Dinosaur Juniors without the little dinosaur. I mean, the little fucker on the side. They can do Dooms without Doom on the side.
Like MF Doom has a time and place in 2024, because he's unfortunately, like, rest in peace, MF Doom.
Right.
I was peak 16 years old music guy in 1994. No one's listening to Dinosaur Jr. like that anymore. But when that shoe came out, they were, and it's like, I made a Dinosaur Jr. joke on my podcast once. It'll be a real freak scene if that shoe came out, and so it's like, if you understand what that reference, then you're happy. But you guys are staring at me like, what is he talking about?
Yeah, but I mean, I think you illustrate my point well, because it's always about the context. When it made sense, it came out. Like, I think about the Atmos Air Force One. Most people, if I showed them an Atmos Air Force One, they'd be like, what the fuck is this? It's a gray and blue shoe for green interior. If Nike brought those back, so I just think you should let things lie where they are, because people always say, well, how does it hurt this? It hurts it because it's just like seeing your hero come back out there. I don't want to see Muhammad Ali come out there after he's done all these incredible things. I'm not about to make a joke about that. But if Muhammad Ali desperately needed money and he went and did an exhibition match, it's kind of sad. And it's sad to see something.
To do a pro wrestling reference, the Undertaker had this undefeated streak at WrestleMania.
Oh, God, yes.
Right? And everyone just assumed, like, he was going to forever stay undefeated. And it's like, you can look back at it now and say, it was probably a mistake to, like, have him lose one of those ones. and it should have been undefeated. Like he should have stayed undefeated. And so this is kind of a parallel there, where
No, that's a perfect example.
Maybe he should have left it as is.
And he lost to fucking Brock Lesnar. Like,
pun intended. Stay undefeated. Anyway.
Stay that. I think that's that's the name of the episode. Stay undefeated. I mean, because if we're gonna talk about wrestling, Ric Flair is going to wrestle to from his deathbed. Rick, stop! You've had an incredible run. I got how many kids does this motherfucker have?
He had a heart attack in his retirement match that he did like last summer.
Jesus Christ, Rick, stop! Like that's how I feel about it. I don't want to see the old dog pulled out for a new trick. This isn't a farewell tour. Dance, monkey.
That man could be 10 years from now.
How old is Ric Flair? Ric Flair was old when I was a kid.
Son, I don't know.
I mean, him and Hulk Hogan up here cutting promos.
Somebody gonna chop that man into cardiac arrest. I'm telling you.
Man, when Shawn Michaels kicked him, and I was like, this is elder abuse. And that was like, what, 13 years ago at this point? Please, someone stop Ric Flair.
All right. I think you're a tad bit long-winded. So are there any more points that you would like to bring up?
No, that's good. Like, I totally, like I said, I understand the other side, and I know there's probably is a desire, the phrase "restore the feeling," and it's like maybe the feeling doesn't need to be restored, and if the feeling is going to be restored, maybe it's going to hurt your feelings sometimes, especially if they make 20,000 of these Wu-Tang Clan Dunk High, and they're under retail in size 7.
Restore the hurt feeling,
man. We hold on. I got my final thought. Go ahead.
No, I mean my final thought would be if the vault is open, what 2 shoes would you want from the vault?
What 2 shoes would I want?
Yeah,
Air Force STS and Air Force High. Air Force STS in. It's some other stupid shoe. I mean, I actually, you know what?
I think you want the Air Force One Supreme, visible air bubble.
Yeah, if we could bring back some of the One World quality, give me those. I want to scare stupid shit that nobody cares about.
I say Kashima Antler 97s, and I don't know. This was my question, so I feel stupid as shit.
I mean, it's hard to think of 2 shoes like a good answer. Sock, same question.
For me, it'd probably be like the Kobe Jordan 3 that came in that pack. I think it was like a 3 and an 8 that never really released. Like if that Kobe
that was
3
a good
came
one.
out, right, that would be a good tribute. Like that's a story you can tell. I'd be totally fine with that because it didn't really release. Or even like the Tokyo 5 or something. And I assume that one is probably going to come back as well too, because like I said, the list of what they can bring back for Jordan specifically is pretty small.
I mean, Tokyo 5 is always a good choice. That's a good fucking shoe. All right. So my final thought, restore the feeling. If you're going to restore the feeling, restore the feeling. Make that shit hard. Like that's how I want a retro to come back. I want broken sights. I want speculation. I want a few niggas to get kicked in the chest at a lineup. I want the feeling back. I won't be outside because I'm going back with the same feeling. I hope it releases online.
You want the Twitter image with the hashtags in the background and the circle?
Yeah, I want a lot of stupid shit happening. I want people, pray for Baltimore. There was a nigga that got stabbed at a release. If you want to restore the feeling, make it bad. I'm lying like a motherfucker, but I just like the idea of capturing the feeling as best as you can if you're gonna do the retro. But I prefer 2.0. Hey man, we flipped it. The Undefeated 4 is now orange with olive green like accents. That would have my attention. But a retro of a shoe that's only 72 of, and I'm also gonna put my age into it. It's very weird seeing a shoe that you knew if you saw it outside, it was probably fake. Because I remember when I was in college, some guy came into class with Heineken's on, and it's just like, nigga, I saw you in beat up Air Forces yesterday. You really got Heineken's?
Right.
So if they would have retro those now, my brain wouldn't be able to compute like, the fuck did they get a size 4 Heineken dunk? Yeah. Oh,
It's possible they did a lot of this is because of fakes too, but I don't know what their motivations are. Like, there's just too many people making fakes of these kind of stuff, so let's just do it ourselves.
I mean, that would be
Maybe.
interesting if they were like, the vault's open because we closed down all the fakes. That's why we've been suing people. I could get behind that, but are there really fakes of these old ass shoes?
There's I remember some
Yeah.
TikTok. And that's the thing that people love. It's like, I just want
Yeah,
the shoe
reptile.
attainable, and it's like I'm only gonna. Then the fakes that they have are all like these M&M 4s and shit. It's like,
Okay, because like in my mind, most of the fakes I see are like newer shit.
Mm-mm.
Because
It's older stuff too.
okay, because maybe I'm not going deep enough. Because I remember when the Year of the Dragon Air Forces came out, and people on Reddit were like, I don't want to go to StockX because they're fakes, bro. This shoe literally just came out. Like, I know that there are a lot of fakes, but there are no fucking fakes of these. Like, not yet. Maybe in a couple of months, but this shoe isn't even that revered. Only sickos like me who overpaid for their pairs. I was very wrong about
Easy
that.
ones, my bad. That's the other shoe.
What if they brought back easy
If
ones?
they're gonna open up the vault, just do easy ones. Yup. If we gonna go there, we gonna go all the way. Fuck it.
If they did new colors, yes. If they did old colors,
what are
man.
they gonna call it? They can't call it easy.
Well, you know, according to some people, since he did that commercial with Travis, they're talking.
Yeah, if he his apology tour was $20 sock, right?
Yeah.
So it's like I'm back to let's collaborate again. But
Yeah.
even
I mean,
that,
if
you
they
can't
did
close
the
the door on that.
if they did the air anti-Semitics, I don't think I would touch them.
Anyways, so my final, actually no. Well, I guess we'll have Sako last because he is our guest.
Yeah, he's gonna make the most impactful part.
Right. My final thought is I'm not mad at it only because the way that I see Nike trending, I think they have to make way for. They got to make way for the newcomers, man. With New Balance, with Hoka, with all these other companies now starting to make their mark. Fuck it. We got to start. We just got to level the playing field. Everything is out now, and we are going to make history with our new shit. But we can't have people hold on. Like, they can't revere all this old shit because all they're going to do is pay attention to, it didn't compare to those Air Maxes. No, now they have this clean slate that they can make history from right now.
Okay, so you're saying clear out the backlog so you can focus on the future?
Yes.
That's what I was saying too. It's like you're gonna have to do that eventually, anyways.
Yeah.
So why not just do that now?
Okay. You know what? I can see that perspective, and I can respect that. I don't like it, but it makes sense.
I mean, it's always going to be a tough thing to people of that time because, again, we cling on to that. It's, you want that old thing back. It's like, no, but you have something right here and now. I'm not going to appreciate the new Air Maxes if I'm still holding on to the Air Max 1. The Nike Huarache is not a superior training shoe. It's all the other shit. We're holding on to like Vomeros, but we have better technology and whatnot, but we're still stuck on the obsolete shit.
Now, can they stick the landing is the question.
That's time will tell.
I would like to be wrong.
I would hope so too.
Yeah, but I'm not. So, all right, Sock.
Oh, for me?
Yeah, your final thoughts, sir.
My final thought is like, I know there's people at Nike that probably share many of these same feelings, that have said the same kind of stuff, that are really like trying to agree that these stuff should be a marker in time, but they're not exactly the ones in power. It's peers at this point, because just of what we've seen and the stock numbers we've seen. So it's like they are aware of like the hype formula of make stuff low, then create demand, and then increase stock, and then create it low again. So it's like, if you know the formula, if that stuff is all just thrown out the window, we're definitely in a new era now. Then if the formula is, let's go back to that, let's sprinkle in some of these old pairs and reduce numbers and create new stories, it's like, that's what I think they should do. But I'm not in there. I don't know. They don't really have a spokesperson to talk about this kind of stuff or anything. Usually we just get it out in little bits and pieces from Fit Dad and Unloved Ones and people like that, and we just got to piece it together. So I don't know. They're the gatekeepers. They're the ones that decide, and I just hope the people that care about this stuff still have a voice.
Profound words from a wise man. But I have to ask one thing of you.
Sure.
I want this to be truly special. So on 3, can we get a classic SockJig closing? Y'all looking at me. I'm waiting for your confirmation.
Yeah.
All right. So 3, 2, 1. Go fuck yourself.
Fuck yourself.
You didn't say it.
Oh, go fuck yourself.